Now, Lil Tjay, an 18-year-old New York rapper who's been taking the entire rap game by storm for this past year. I myself found him because of his song Brothers through the YouTube recommended section. The thing that kinda caught my ear when it comes to Lil Tjay is how smoothly he was just flowing through the record. This is one of those cases where you can hear that he was made for this beat. Teenage rappers in 2019 are obviously the wave, and Lil Tjay is just adding more fuel to that teenage rapper wave. His come up this year has been fairly gradual. I noticed that he was taking off the fastest when Brothers was really starting to reach a lot of people. The song did come out in the summer of 2018, so it definitely had some time to build up a lot of hype just in time for 2019. As of right now, it is of course his biggest song just yet, along with his feature on Pop Out by Polo G, which was another big moment for him this year. And also, let's not forget his song F.N, which has kind of been going crazy as of lately. Things are looking extremely good for him right now though. He just dropped his new album True to Myself, which I'm personally a fan of. There's a lot of good songs on here: Lane Switch, F.N, Escape, One Take. I like them all. I think Lil Tjay is definitely filling a gap in the rap industry. His success is of course a direct result of that kind of sound prospering so much, but similar to rappers like Polo G and Roddy Ricch, Lil Tjay falls right in this lane. His music is of course very litty to say the least, but there is in fact a glimpse of some kind of story he's trying to tell. He's definitely still trying to identify his place in the industry. That's obvious. He's extremely young, but then again, I love how he's sticking to what works for him. Just like an elite chopper, Tjay has a lot of energy, but he's giving it away in a different way. He's giving it away through songs like F.N, which looks like it's definitely gonna overtake Brothers and become his biggest song. This is a track that Lil Tjay was previewing for what seems to be an eternity before he dropped it. The track snippet almost became kind of iconic within his fanbase because he previewed it so many times before the song was even out. This was a really smart move on his side because the song definitely didn't disappoint. It was even better than what it sounded like on that snippet.
Niggas, I don't trust niggas. If you bust triggers and you tell you a nigga.
Let me tell you about one really strategic move Lil Tjay pulled when this track first came out. So on August 9th, he dropped a tape titled F.N, which was of course named after this song. The intro track was F.N itself, but here's where things get a little bit strange. It wasn't a tape with F.N and a bunch of other new songs. It was a tape that served as a compilation project for all the singles he's dropped, plus F.N, which was the only new song on there. I remember seeing a bunch of his fans going off on him because they were expecting a whole new project with actual new songs, but this quote-unquote new project contained a bunch of tracks that were already out. This was probably one of the smartest things I've seen a young, new rapper do in a while, and you may be asking why? Well, because he believed in the song so much to the point where he was willing to disappoint his fans for the bigger picture. And don't forget, what this F.N snippet did for him was, prove that people actually really wanted the song because it sounded amazing. Now, this was somewhat of a dangerous move though, because he is a new rapper, don't forget that. He hasn't built enough of a strong bond with his fans to the point where he should even be able to do something like that. F.N captured his buzz so perfectly. He didn't lose anything. Matter of fact, he gained more from pulling that move because the song is huge now. It paid off. It did of course temporarily disappoint his fans, but he dropped a dope ass album to make up for that. Very, very bold move on his part, but it all ended up benefiting him at the end. The song hits extremely hard. I mean, it has some very relatable / real lyrics. It's catchy, the hook is infectious, the entire sound of the record is 10 out of 10. It has a very reminiscent kind of vibe to it, and yeah, Lil Tjay kills it.
My mama know about the pain that I never changed, but looking back for the fame, I felt the same.
I like Lil Tjay because his music is just very easy to listen to and get into. There's clearly a market for someone like him to dominate, and he's doing just that. He's having fun with the music, and that's something that bleeds into every single track he makes. He's a young rapper who, from what I can tell at least, hasn't been jaded by the music industry. He seems to be in it for a good time, and just his presence alone tells me that. Lil Tjay seems to be one of those young rappers who has genuine intentions with everything he's doing. There's no kind of controversy surrounding his entire name and wave, which I'm always gonna salute these young rappers for that because it's so easy to fall into that. Someone like Lil Tjay is actually shooting himself in the foot by not acting a fool, which it's kind of crazy for me to say that, but that's the way the game is set up nowadays, unfortunately. I do think putting the focus 100% into the music though is always the way to go because that's gonna set you up for longevity. Honestly, when it comes to Lil Tjay overall, I'm definitely a fan of him. I like the way his music sounds in general. I like the fact that he's not taking himself too seriously, but then again, I also like the fact that there's a very serious and real undertone within his music. One thing I'm very curious about though when it comes to him is what kind of vision does he have for everything he's doing long term. I want to use an Lil Tjay as an example for the simple fact that he is so young, but he turned down a $3 million deal to start his own label. With that information, we know what his vision is. He wants to build some kind of legacy of his own, something he can proudly claim as his own. Lil Tjay though, I'm talking to you bro, what exactly do you want to do? Of course, he's an extremely fresh face in the game, so maybe he hasn't really been looking that far ahead. I do think it's extremely smart to do that though, because most young rappers aren't doing that, and most young rappers won't last anyway in the grand scheme of course, so you don't want to follow in their footsteps because you know that's the majority and the majority won't last, so don't follow in their footsteps. But as far as his music overall and his entire wave goes, I'm definitely a fan. What do you think though? Lil Tjay, is this a rapper you mess with? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.